So, I'm here with Braden Fuller.
Howdy, folks.
On November 2nd, 2011.
That's right after the deer hunt.
So, Braden, I was just asking you, just wanted to interview you a little bit about deer hunting.
Deer hunting?
First question for you is, how has deer hunting affected your life?
Well, Justin, deer hunting's not like a sport like it is to most people. To me, deer hunting's more like, I don't know, it's a lifestyle. It's the way that we live here in northern Utah. I like to get out there every year and dress up in my orange and get up real early, try to find them bucks out in the field. Now, there's 3 different seasons that I hunt every year. There's the bow season, and during the bow season, well, we'll go into that more later. And then there's the muzzleloader season, and that's a great season, but never actually got one then. And then there's the rifle season, and the rifle season is the most popular by far.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about archery season?
Well, Justin, the archery season is probably the most physically demanding season of the year. During the archery season, we generally try to chase down the deer with the bows and arrows. Now, most hunters don't do this. See, what they like to do is they sit in the tree and they wait till the deer run under them. But we have football during the archery season because we're both on the football team. So what we do then is we go up in the mountains and we sneak up as close as we can get. And when them deer look up, and because they've seen us or smelt us, which is usually the case because Justin smells a little bit, but when they smell us, they kind of perk up a little bit, and that's when we take off running. Now I wear my track shoes when we go archery hunting, and that way we can chase them down. What we usually do is we send up one person sneaking through the field, and the other person's up on the ridge. And the person through the field usually gets on them and chases them up the ridge. And that person on the ridge does his best to get on them. Now, it's anybody's hunt once they're starting to run, because who knows where they're going to go. Sometimes they go up the ridge to the other person. Sometimes they go up halfway and stop, and you can catch them. And sometimes they don't go anywhere that you think they're going to go. Sometimes they just go the wrong way.
That's very interesting right there. Now, what's your success rate on archery hunting?
Well, just my success rate on archery hunting is about 0.
Why don't we move on to muzzleloader season?
Alright.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, just the muzzleloader season is mostly a time to end with the archery season and get ready for the rifle. See, the muzzleloader season hasn't been a real successful season for us as well. But we have fun. The muzzleloader season, we usually do a large bit of hiking. See, a muzzleloader can shoot about 100 yards. And once you shoot, a thick black cloud of smoke comes up. But anyways, we do a lot of hunting during the muzzleloader season. It's generally a little colder, but it's really hard to see the deer then. They're just not quite as pressured, but we still can't find them very good. So our muzzleloader season is probably my least favorite out of the 3, seeing as the deer are starting to hide from you, but they haven't quite disappeared like the rifle, but you can't shoot very far. So that's the muzzleloader season for you now. Now let me tell you a little story about our friend Kevin during the muzzleloader season. Now with muzzleloader, you gotta pour the powder and the bullet down there like that, and then you shove them all in there, and then you put a primer in there, and off it goes. Now Kevin, he put his bullet and his powder down there, but he forgot he put them down there. Now, after we started hunting a little while, he thought, I better load my gun. So he loaded it. Well, he loaded it twice. Who'd have thunk he loaded his gun twice? And then he's in a spot of trouble. I don't know how he got out of that one.
Now, Mr. Fuller, what's your success rate in muzzleloader hunting?
Well, Justin, as I discussed before, I've never even fired my muzzleloader at a deer. Never shot at a deer. Once again, I've never shot at a deer.
So what's your success rate during muzzleloader season?
Well, if we were shooting at posts, my success rate would be, fairly well. fairly well. But
what's your success rate on a deer?
On a deer is 0 for 0. Therefore, I'm 100%.
Very good.
Thank you.
Now, what's this rifle you speak of?
Well, Justin, a rifle is a precision instrument of what it does is it throws the bullet in the general direction of the deer, and you can aim it a little better than the muzzleloader, so you can shoot about to, I don't know, 500 yards, but for me, I stop around 3. Now you see with the rifle, you can shoot pretty far, so what you do with the rifle is you find some place real high, and you see if you can find a deer, and then you sneak up on them, get within shooting range, and then you let it fly. I don't know. What else do we want to know about the rifle season, Justin?
What's your success rate on the rifle season?
Well, Justin, depends how you count. See, my success rate is 1 out of 3 at the moment, and yeah, that's my success rate, 1 out of 3. Now, there's been a couple more times where there's been a disputed kill during the rifle season, but we won't go into that. That's a story for another day.
Why don't you tell us about your successful hunt?
Successful hunt. Well, Justin, it was probably one of the 5th, 6th coldest days of my life. It was in the morning, about 6:15. We got up there and saddled the horses up, and we went up Rock Creek, with this up Blacksmith Fork Canyon, just below Harbor Ranch. We got parked up, went up the trail, and it was snowing something fierce, just a whiteout blizzard. And we start riding, and my dad says, "I'm going to go around to this left side. Why don't you go ahead up through the middle?" I says, "Okay, Dad." Went up through the middle. There's nothing. So I ride over this one ridge, and I thought, this is a pretty good place to sit. So I sat there for a while, and after some more sitting, I thought, well, isn't that a white butt right there? So I looked over across the canyon, and there it was, a white butt of a deer. So I looked at my scope, and it was a doe. So I thought, well, where there's does, there's a buck. So I waited, and all of a sudden this 2-point buck came running out, and he was out there, and he was running around a little bit, but then I told him to hold still, and I made a nice shot. It was about, rangefindered it later, about 357 yards, and yep, dropped him, went through both lungs, and dropped him right in his tracks. That was it.
Very nice.
Thank you.
What is your favorite deer hunting experience?
Well, as far as my favorite, there's been a couple times. There was one time during the bow season where we went out in the grass out there in Cache Junction, and we chased them around, and that was probably the most unique deer hunting experience I've had. Felt like an Indian running around out there shooting the deer with my bow. But
now, an engine or an Indian?
An Indian, like an Indian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not like an engine.
Not like an Indian.
Oh, did you scream like an Indian?
I did. We'd see them, they'd pop out of those bushes, and we'd go get them with our bows.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't kill one, did you?
Nah, we never did.
Oh, that's a pity.
Yeah.
Is there any other grand stories?
Well, Justin, there was this one time. How much time do I got?
You got about a minute.
A minute? Oh, a minute doesn't do this story good. I'll do it fast, though. There was one time where my uncle had a deer tag, and I didn't have one, but I said I'd go with him. So we went out there to Cache Junction, and out there by Clarkston. Well, not quite Clarkston, but we saw this deer, and it was kind of a goofy-looking deer. Its leg was broken. It had fallen down into some rocks or something. So we decided, well, it's the last day of the hunt. We may as well get that one. So we went out there, and this deer was a little bit crippled, and he dove into the trees. And so we went after him with the horses, and he was in those trees, and then he kicked out and ran up this cliff. And my uncle was above the cliff, so he couldn't see him. So I chased him up on this cliff, thinking he'd go up on this. Now there was a little shelf, so we kind of went up and out onto the shelf, and we were thinking there's no way he could go anywhere. And he was sitting out on the cliff, and I was below him. Oh, it was probably a 30-foot cliff, and I was sitting directly below him. My dad was with us too, and he was kind of holding the deer onto the shelf, so it couldn't go anywhere. And we radioed my uncle, told him, come around to the cliff, we'll shoot him off the cliff, and then we'll go home. And just as my uncle was starting to come around, that deer decided he didn't want anything to do with that cliff anymore, and he bailed right off, landed about 10 feet from me, and scared the bejeebers out of me. I tell ya, man, that deer came landed down and piled up right next to me, rolled a couple times down the hill, and then ran out in the field. My uncle dropped him in the field. That was probably the wildest thing I've ever seen. I've never had a deer land right next to me jumping off a cliff before.
Very interesting. Before you go, can you quick tell us about your guns you're holding right now?
Well, Justin, I don't know a whole lot about them, but this gun right here is a very ancient replica of the first 12 gauge in the United States. Now it's a single shot. See, it just opens like that, and you put a bullet in right there, and you close it up, and then you pull that back, and you boom, and it shoots 12 gauge, which is a type of shotgun. Now when it shoots it throws a pellet, and there's lots of different sizes.
Okay, we've heard enough. How about your next gun?
My next gun, well, Justin, this right here is a 1944 Colt Boy. All right, and what this is this was made popular in 1839 by the cowboys. Now this is a Winchester model. Oh, Winchester model Colt. It's a lever action, so you just put the shells in there, and then you pump it like that. And now it's all loaded and ready to go. And I don't want to discharge it in the house, so I won't. But anyways, yeah, you just put them in there. And
could that one blow your head off?
this one could blow your head off.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what about your friend there, Ralph, that was on them horns right there?
Ralph. Well, this right here is Ralph. You see, we found him out in the field one day under a bale of hay. He was stuck. He was stuck under the bale. See, his tail's a little flat. He was stuck under the bale. But he's been our little friend ever since. We like to bring him with us. He's our lucky mouse during our hunting season.
And did you kill that deer right there?
I did. This is the second most deer that I've killed, and he was a nice buck up in the cliffs.
What did he score?
Well, he scored 24 points, and yeah, by the Boone and Crockett.
Is that how much you scored on your driving test? Is that where you got the number from?
All right, Justin, let's not bring the driving test into this. We don't need to do that.
That's a big there deer, huh?
Yeah, it is a big, nice deer. He was a good-looking buck too.
Wow, it's about as big as Gibbons thinks his head is, isn't it?
Yeah. This is. I reckon this would look pretty good on Gibbons' head. It would fit quite nicely.
Well, nonetheless, thanks for the interview, Mr. Fuller.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll get back to my hunting cabin now.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.